Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Join me, let's glam up my beautiful model together. Please, if you're new here, you're highly welcome, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share if you enjoyed the video. So first thing first, always start by cleaning the face using our Adventure Micellar cleansing water with the aid of our wipe to make sure we get rid of every hidden there. The next thing, we'll go in with our moisturizer, which I use the Moist Essence moisturizer. I apply it all over the face, especially the under eye. After moisturizing her face, I use my fan to dry it up. Then I move on with my primer, which I use my Mismetic Aqua Grip primer. So I just applied all over her face except the under eye, and then I use my fan to dry it up. For foundation, I use the Evolve foundation in the shade 10. So after applying my foundation on the face, I use my very soft and damp. When I say soft and damp, it means you should make it wet. But when you squeeze it, water shouldn't come out from it. Even a drop of water should not come out from it, right? It should be very damp, right? So after blending, the next thing, I'm going in with my contour, which I use my V Beauty foundation in the shade 10. So it is kind of 2 shades darker than her skin. So I just apply around underneath the cheekbone, around the temple. Then I use the same side of the beauty sponge which I use in blending my foundation and blending the contour. So I place my beauty sponge while blending in such a way that when I'm blending, it's taking care of the lines separating the contour and the rest of the face. So for blush, I'm using this orange shade from my Girl 3D blush palette. So I just apply directly on the cheek, so around the outer corner of the eye. Then I blend in from the upper of the cheek towards the temple. So I still use the same side of my beauty sponge which I use in blending the foundation, the contour. I use in blending the blush. Moving on to concealer, I'm using my Adventure concealer to highlight her face, which is 2 shades lighter than her skin tone. So I wanted the highlighted area to be brighter. That's why I'm using that 2 shades lighter. So I apply on around the under eye, the bridge of the nose, the forehead and the chin. So after that, I use the clean section of my beauty sponge to blend in everything. And while blending, I'm making sure that there is no harsh line, right? So blending the under eye, I just press in gently, and then when I get to the point separating the blush and the highlighter, I just place the beauty sponge in such a way. I place the middle of the beauty sponge on the line separating the blush and the highlighter, such that as I'm blending, it's taking care of the harsh line. Yeah. So after blending, I'm using the excess on my beauty sponge to just tap in around the mandible, blend and go around the neck. So to contour her nose, I use my V Beauty foundation again, which is 2 shades darker than her skin tone. So just contour the nose. Then I use my beauty sponge, the side of my beauty sponge, to blend in everything. So if you want your contour, your nose contour, or your contour to be well precise. So if you want more details, you always have to do cream and powder. So after setting the face and blending thoroughly, I go in with my Kiss Beauty Fix Spray to set everything. So to set her face, I'm using my Miracle setting powder in the shade Ginger. It is 2 shades lighter than her skin tone. So we are setting just the highlighted area. That is the area we want to be brightened. That is the under eye, the bridge of the nose, the forehead and the chin. So I'll just say I'm using 1 layer of my Miracle setting powder. When it comes to setting, we're using 1 layer of the setting powder, and when it comes to baking, we leave excess like 3 layers of the setting powder. Yeah, so after setting the face, I just wanted the under eye to be a bit brighter again. So I'm going to go in with a lighter shade. If you have a compact powder, you could use with a lighter shade from my V Beauty powder palette. So I just wanted to brighten up the under eye. So for the rest of the face, I'm using my powder from my V Beauty powder palette, which is equivalent to her skin tone. So I just set all the blank spaces. And while setting, I always make sure that I also blend around the mandibles such that there will be no demarcation. So for nose contour, again, I'm going in with my powder from my V Beauty powder palette which is one shade darker than her skin. So I'll just contour her nose. After when I'm done with that, I'm going in now with contouring the temple, all the area we previously contoured. That is the temple underneath the cheekbone. So after that, I'm going to now use my fluffy brush again to blend in everything to make sure everything is in place. Then I use my Kiss Beauty setting spray to melt down the powder effect. We don't want the face to be looking too wild or too, yeah. We have to melt down the powder effect. Then we use our fan to dry it up. So to bake her face, I'm using the same setting powder which I used in setting her face. That is a mirror setting powder in the shade Ginger. So I just leave 2 layers of the setting powder around the under eye, such that every moisture will be absorbed and eyeshadow fallout will be easily taken off. Moving on to brows, I began by laying down the hair as always using my Nikki Signature Brows gel to make sure the hair is in place. And I go in with my mirror setting powder in the shade Ginger. After that, to make sure every moisture is absorbed and there's no oil. So after that, I dust up everything with my small fluffy brush. So for the brows, I always began by outlining the brows. I wanted the brows to be the end of the brows to look a bit darker. So I'm mixing equal percentage of the black and brown from my KR brows pomade to get that dark shade. So after producing my outline for one section, I'll just go to the other section and produce my outline. Then I use my brows. I'll start by producing hair-like stroke around the outer end of the brows using my angle brush from Issa and Dose. I'm just producing hair-like stroke because I want that area to look a bit darker. Yeah, so that's it. So after shading that the end point, or can we say the tail, I'm now going in with filling of the brows again using my Davis pencil this time. So I use my Davis pencil for the beginning. So I make sure my Davis pencil was well sharpened and pointed, and I'm using the shade 01. 01 is not too dark. I never wanted the beginning to be a little dark. Yeah. So to conceal the brows, I'm using my Spotless concealer. It is one shade lighter than her skin. I use my flat angle brush from Issa and Dose Makeup. Then I'm using the tips of my angle brush to conceal. So after concealing, I'm going in with this fluffy brush to blend in the excess concealer. Then while I'm blending, since I didn't conceal the beginning, I'm just using the excess of my sponge to just blend and come in front. So for the upper section, I use my foundation, which is one shade darker than her skin, because I never wanted the area to be looking too dark or too wild. Yeah, so after that, I'm still going to go in with my fluffy brush to blend in everything. Then I will now apply my powder. Remember, we said to make up everything cream has to go powder. So now I'm going in with this lighter shade from my VBT powder palette to apply around the area which I wanted to be brighter, right? Then for the beginning now, I'm using this darker shade, which is equivalent to the shade I use for contouring, because I wanted to look very, very natural. Then for the upper section, I just go in with my powder, which matches her skin tone at this point. So moving on to eyeshadow, I began by placing my eyeshadow base, which is my Adventure Concealer, on the eyelid. Then I use my big small fluffy brush to blend in the excess eyeshadow base. So moving on, I'm using this light, is it pink or orange shade, from my Blossom Makeup eyeshadow palette. Yeah, so I'll just try to like blend around the crease line. So after that, I go with this other shade, which is like kind of dark but not so dark, again around the crease line. Then finally I just go in with this dark shade. I'm using now my powder palette, not eyeshadow palette, with this dark brown shade. It's actually the darkest shade on my VBT powder palette. So just blend again around the crease line. I'm trying to map the area which I have to cut the crease. Finally, I go in with this dark brown shade from my Blossom Makeup eyeshadow palette. So I just blend again around the crease line because I wanted to look a bit darker. So to cut my crease, I'm using the my angle brush, which I use in concealing, my flat angle brush, well precise angle brush, and my concealer, that's the Adventure concealer, to just cut the crease. This type of cut crease is not like the regular type of cut crease, right? So after doing so, I'm going to go in with my fluffy brush to just blend in. This time we're not blending, we're just pressing in, because we don't, and at this point the client is not supposed to open and close, open the eyes and close. Just stay still like that. So after pressing in, I'm going in with this brown shade. If you don't have this shade on your eyeshadow palette, you could use your powder, right? The powder produces the same has the same effect. So I'm just using that shade on it, blend and blend and blend. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all growing life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago, I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows. And where I'll go in life, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago.
We have come to the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share if you enjoyed the video. Bye, see y'all.